Hi, Uel here. Okay, so like Celeste music is cool and all in the album, but it's no secret in the actual game music is cut up and forced to adhere to music cues. How it works, okay, all of the audio is contained in Fmod here, which is just cued audio music manager. Sorry about the MS Paint, I'm holding my phone with one hand. So, and then this gives a bunch of audio events which like you might want to play a sound, but each time you play it, it might want to be a different sound, for example, and it gives it to a class called Fmod events, which it can give to C# scripts in Unity, which can read and call the events through audio managers in Fmod. The thing about the devs is that they have a power-up audio. Kevin Regami, he's the reason the music's so cued. They have released this Fmod project just for like anyone to look at, which is like super cool, just like educational purpose. If you're a modder, you would know this and actually be using this, but if you're a normal person like me, you just find this right now and it's just like the coolest thing ever. And there's a bunch of audio secrets I missed the first time round. Also, graphics take a lot of time, and I'm going to refer to things and you're just going to have to look at them yourself. So this right here, this is all you're going to get. I hope you enjoy. Okay. So starting here, I have done a couple takes of this, but sometimes it's hard to freaking find things fast enough. I don't want Battlein. I want Oshiro. When he flies across the screen, the audio actually pans from like left to right. I'm not sure if you heard that, but that's like definitely a thing that happens. And when he's walking around, like I mentioned at some point, he sort of, when he walks left, he does a... Wait, no, that's the wrong one. He paces left, he goes... and he paces right. And it's very cute. And he has like animations for like literally everything. Okay, that's number one. Number two, in the environment, right? If I look at game. Frick. Oh yes, okay, no, this is exactly what I want. The force fields actually make a sound in Chapter 3. I'm not sure if you ever noticed that, but that's like a thing that definitely happens. But if you want like a cooler thing about the environment, in the resort, I thought I was tripping when I heard this, but this is actually completely true. If there's a hole in the window, they will add this sound. And if there's a small hole in the window, there'll actually be a small whistling sound. Look at it yourself. It's so cool. And like at the same time in that same chapter, did you notice as you're going through the final section, it goes from the blue resort to the orange golden ridge, because it, it actually changed the background of the chapter. It actually changes that whole thing. Look at it yourself. I'm not showing you because I'm just not, all right? Ambience. Look, if we go Chapter 3, interior, it actually sounds way different in the basement. Like, this is what the basement sounds like. There's like water and machines and things like that. But as you get further away, it becomes more like that, which is like cool and all. Now, the most complicated track in the game, you wouldn't think so, but it is actually Chapter 5. Like, look, if you can already see all of these like sub events, and it's going to be crazy when the parameters don't even fit on the screen. Like if I drop these down to 0 for a second and play the event. Oh wait, I have to put this one up. Here it is. Here's the music, right? And let's say a seeker walks in, then it would like, boom, there's percussion now. I'd have to actually look at the audio manager, like this thing here, like I just talked about before. And now there's another cool thing. As you get closer to the end and she becomes a bit more sane and whatnot. That's not more sane music. The backwards piano is now replaced with forward piano. Like, listen very closely. And this is what it sounded like before. She was insane and now she's sane. Is that just not the cool thing? Also, like, this... when you hit Battlein, right? Hold on. And then you hit her. This thing can actually loop infinitely, so if you pause the game while you hit Battlein, you get this funny warped audio which sounds exactly like this. Kinda crazy. Anything. Number 7. A lot of the times the music fades out. It doesn't just fade out like it sort of does here. Crap. it actually does something way cooler. Like, it adds like a bit of ring to it and things like that. Like, if I want to go the final bit of Summit here, no, you're finishing the mountain, what happens? You hear how it rings out? That's like a thing they had to code in. That also happens in like chapter 3 when you're approaching the... Yeah, it happens in chapter 3 when you're approaching the presidential suite. And it also happens in chapter 1 when you approach the end. It also happens in chapter 2 when you escape Battleland. It's really cool. And now, the most complicated track in the game, you would think it's something like Core with all of those elevators and like 2 different versions, but you were completely wrong. The most complicated track is actually the Pico 8 sort of B-side sounds that you have in like the cassette rooms. Like if I go music here and I go cassette, and let's say I was just to play it. Huh? Where's the sound? The sound is actually controlled by this funny slider here. So what happens is that there's a beat in the game that controls the rhythm blocks, and that actually is what controls the music. Like if the rhythm blocks were to go in a swing rhythm, the music would follow suit because it's not actually made in any sort of audio editing software. It's made completely live in Fmod itself, which is really funny. Like you wouldn't think it is, but it is. Like, just look right there. And I think that's all of the fun, the biggest bit. I would usually end it there, but there was another thing. Yeah, Core has all of that. There was a sound for like Battleland just sitting down, which was apparently cut because it was way too like overbearing. I can't find where that is, though. So, yeah, you don't get to see cut content. Aside from that, there is actually apparently a secret character in this game. Like, if I go here, for example, here is, like, what Battleland sounds like. Come on. All right. And if I wanted a sound freaking out, which is when it's at the cool part of the game, she sounds like this, and then you do that to end the dialogue. Okay, that's how the characters sound, but there's also a secret character in the game. If I just give it a shot, apparently... Oh, goddamn!